Good afternoon, everyone. It's Ryder from Skip. It's good to see you. I've got a great show for you today. We're talking about new grants, talking about new disaster loan funding in Florida. Not only Florida, a couple other states have new disaster funding, which includes economic injury disaster loans and this incredible National Restaurant Association letter to Administrator Guzman, head of the SBA, about getting some partial forgiveness for EIDL loans. So huge welcome. Would love to hear where you're watching from today. Again, we've got a lot to cover. And as always, I love hearing where you're watching from and answering your questions. So drop in your questions in the description. We'll put this link up here in the description. You'll be able to access the grants we're going to talk about today. I'm going to loop in Brian from our team in a second. So we'll talk about grants, some new grants to apply for. I'm going to talk about this news from the National Restaurant Association and some other SBA news, including this here, the new funding for Florida. So obviously, if you know anyone affected in Florida, please share this information with them. I think it'll help them a lot. So there's a lot of topics to talk about and going to answer your questions. We'll keep it short today. And a special announcement in 5 minutes. I've got a special announcement for you related to October. So stick around and without further ado, let me loop in Brian from our team. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Going good. How are you, Ryder?
Doing well. Doing
Awesome.
well. Thanks for joining. Yeah. What do we have in store today?
Of course. Yeah. Well, we're back with the grant roundup. We've kind of we gave away a bunch of grants last week, so we didn't kind of focus on grants as much last few weeks. So we got some new ones for you today, winding down the year with some grants. And I'm really excited about the news. We've been posting some videos lately. There's been a lot of news, not just with the Florida and whatnot, but then we also heard about the National Restaurant Association. That was really interesting stuff. So I'm interested to see if people maybe in the comments have a restaurant. I always wonder how many restaurants owners we have, because for nearly 10 years I was working in restaurants and stuff, and yeah, it's definitely
or service industry in general, I think. But yeah, that's a great question, because I think actually I want to pull up that report, because some of the data, Brian, I don't know if I think you looked at the data closely. In that report, I was surprised how many restaurants specifically may not be able to pay EIDL loans. I mean, that data, that was pretty shocking.
Yeah. I know from my experience, restaurants, they're on just razor thin margins, like a 5%, like profit, like with like their total cost, it's just razor thin. So if your 5% profit that you get is eaten up by EIDL loans, and that could be really hard for restaurants. So yeah, I definitely understand and feel for the restaurant owners.
Absolutely. Shout out to everyone sharing where they're from. And Laura, you have a restaurant there. Gail says, hey, from Sacramento, and Macon, Georgia. Greetings from Macon, and right back at you. And thanks, Peggy, for the kind words. Really appreciate it. And everyone who's also giving their thoughts for Florida as well. So chime in the comments. But let's get into that in a few minutes about this story. This is really the big story about this proposal, then the letter that the National Restaurant Association has written to the SBA administrator. It's something else. And we're also going to talk about new grant programs. We were curious today, how many of you watching have for-profit versus nonprofit businesses? So I think we'll get up that poll. And by the way, before you do anything else, hit the like button. So this will show it to more people on YouTube. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, thanks in advance. Brian, anything else that we want to talk about today in terms of news?
Yeah, I think that's kind of, I think that's most of it. That can fill up most of our day. Yeah, so we have nonprofit and for profit. I wanted to mention I wanted to ask everyone about that because we do get a lot of nonprofit grant opportunities, but we don't always add them in here. And I'm just kind of wondering if maybe we should start doing that, just to kind of, we'll let you guys know about all the nonprofits. So it's hard. We always try to find grants that, can kind of apply to the most amount of people, but then, it's not always possible. So a restaurant and in Florida. So you are like double affected by everything that's going on right now. Wow.
Yeah.
Close
Thanks
down.
for sharing that, Natasha, and a bunch of you in Florida. And we know a lot of our users, a lot of you watching are in Florida. And so I want to start with this for a couple reasons. First, we're thinking of you all and talk about the SBA disaster funding for Florida. I'll just take a couple minutes on this because tomorrow, at the same time tomorrow, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific, 9 Hawaii, if you're in Hawaii, I think that's right. We will. I'm talking with an SBA director who we've had on before. He's going to talk specifically about this funding, how it's different than the COVID EIDL program, how to apply if you're an affected business in Florida. So that interview is tomorrow, same time. So, tune in if you're curious about this. If you have questions about this that you want to ask, drop them in the comments today, because there are other states now that have EIDL funding. Again, it's not COVID EIDL, it's economic injury. If you've suffered economic or physical injury for your business or your home. As of the moment, and this just came out yesterday, there's EIDL loans available for Kansas small businesses and Nebraska. So these are, the SBA often does these disaster press releases. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about what these mean, how they're different than the COVID EIDL program. So tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about this. Here we go. Couture Bonanza says this, Brian.
Yeah, we got the poll too. It looks like it was about 20% non-profit. So that's a good amount. I think we'll definitely add at least 1 or 2 grants next time for nonprofits, so we can include you guys there.
Yeah, that's good to know. And I guess how many of you don't have an entity yet? That's also interesting to learn. Maybe you're thinking about you tuned in because you want us to motivate you to start a business. So that's what we're here for as well.
Yeah, we can do that all day.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Brian. I think we're both biased that we imagine everyone in the country should start their passion, some side hustle, passion, or small business.
Yeah,
that's the future.
Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely important these days, just for so many reasons. Yeah.
Well, before we get into some of the news, let's kick things off with the grant. That's why a lot of you have tuned in. So the link to this roundup, as we do every week, is in the description. We have a few extras at the top. So for some of these government programs, like the SSBCI funding, there's progress there. For some CDFI funding, you often need to have a denial letter from other lenders to say, hey, I tried to get funding somewhere else and I couldn't, therefore help me with these low interest loans. And so that's why we've re-put in some of our partners here: Bluevine, Line of Credit, Funding Circle, Fundbox, Fora. So they're private lenders. If you haven't gone through them, it can't hurt to go through them. It's kind of a win-win as we see it. One, hey, maybe you get a good line of credit, no interest until you draw on it, or term loans. You can at least learn the process. If you're ever intimidated by any of these funding processes, obviously we can help you with that. Just at helloskip.com. you can find out more. And I know some of you are already working with our team. So that's the plug for some of the extras. So here are 3 of the new grants we're going to talk about. Then we'll talk about the specific counties in Florida that are eligible for funding, and then I'll talk about this potential big news that the EIDL may change interest rates or partial forgiveness. This is the proposal anyway. Okay, Brian, where should we start? Which grant do you want to talk through first today?
Yeah, so I think we should maybe so it's October, and it's Women's and Small Business Month. So let's start with Stacy's Rise. This is a really cool one. I like this one for a couple different reasons. First off, it's $15,000, which I mean that's kind of borderlining like on the territory of something that can really move the needle and change your life. And the other reason I like it too is because they have a great video here, and I'm always biased with video, but yeah, so this is we can go down a bit and kind of go over some of the
and great reminder, Brian. This is what I wanted to announce, that it's National Women's Small Business Month. So we want to feature as many women small businesses as possible, both existing people that we know, other small businesses. So because you're tuned in today, if you go get that grants document, you can check box, are you women-owned small business? If you are, we'll get in touch with you. Because we'd love to hear, promote you, hear your story.
Yeah, we'd love to share and kind of feature you on our YouTube and our Instagram, know your story, talk to you a bit. We speaking of that with our Instagram, we've been doing that where we've been sharing people's stories, and last week we announced that we were going to be giving away $500 to one of our Instagram users. So Ryder's bringing up the post right now on our Instagram. So it's it's the one. Yeah, I guess it's 4 back here.
Yeah, it's on one of these posts. If you want to go follow us on Instagram and comment here, this is from our giveaway last week, and if you comment on it, you'll be entered to our $500 grant. So
yeah, we're excited about that. Yeah, and shouting some of your businesses out. We're really enjoying that and seeing all the different people in our Skip community.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I recommend you guys go check out this page, watch the little film. It looks like I believe is it Reith who I don't remember the actress's name, but it's one of the Hello Sunshine producer. It's a pretty famous actress is behind the grant.
Reese
here.
Witherspoon. That's who you're on the tip.
Is that is that who it is? I don't think
like Reese Witherspoon. Is it not?
I don't know.
Oh no, sorry, but she's a producer.
Yeah, I'm horrible with names. Everyone in the comments probably knows, but
yeah, drop in the comments if you know who it is, who these people are. Yeah, it's not Reese. But yeah, so how does it work? How does the application work here?
Okay. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna need to get refreshed. I didn't look at this one before. But so yeah, we got 4 months.
15,000 in business grants, 1 million total funding. So it looks like they have a good. They've given out 1 million in funding so far.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing 15K business grants. And I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, because it's through Hello Alice, which they also do a lot of grants. But 4 months of executive mentorship, increased visibility through Stacy's brand platform, a peer network, again the support network, and some other spotlights. And they have this nice countdown timer too.
Yeah.
Which this is big. By the way, we're going to start adding countdown timers. I think 88 days left in the year. We want to, because so many of you watching probably have end of the year goals. So there's nothing better than a countdown timer, Brian. I remember when we put up the EIDL countdown timer with funding left. It was like I'd never seen. I mean, everyone came in and be like, "Oh my gosh, we need to get it now." So
yeah, it's a helpful. It's a helpful reminder. Yeah. All right, let's go down. I'm trying to so we can do if you're in Canada, you can do it, which is great. If you're in the US, you can do it. You have to apply through Hello Alice. But yeah, definitely recommend you checking out this one. We have a couple other cool ones as well. Do we want to go into another grant?
Yeah,
Or
I'll
do we
go
want
back
to
to the grant here. A lot of great comments here. And yeah, if you're a women-owned business, drop it in the comments. And not only that, but please go click that first link and tell us, because we would love to connect with you and have you on a future video, a future live, promote you, so yeah, tell us your story, or you don't have to put it all in the comments here, but Demetris, happy birthday month. That's nice to know. Okay. Yeah, this is the grant. It is self-explanatory when you go to if you've done some of the Hello Alice applications before. You see they ask a lot of questions. So probably many of you have seen that. Let's go back here to pick one. Which grant should we pull up
Yeah,
next?
well, let's stay on the women grants, because yeah, this one up top, this one is a little bit more specific. So this is, if you have a yoga studio, any kind of gym, any kind of wellness type of a business, this is going to be for you. So this is, I believe they are giving out, you can go down, Ryder.
Yeah.
I think they're giving out quite a few grants, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, here's what it says. Let me zoom in a little bit here.
Yeah,
I don't know why they chose the smallest possible font.
Yeah, yeah, between 1,000. It does say that the grant, it says 2021 right there, but don't worry, if you click the apply today, it does say they're accepting until the end of December 2022. So
Should we be worried that they didn't update the copy?
well, it happens.
If you
happens.
get the money, well,
Yeah.
As always, we want to know if you win some of these grants. We hear it a lot. Like if oh, by the way, this is great to hear so many of you. We're already starting the hashtag women owned business on in the comments. So shout out to all of you. Yeah, a lot of home healthcare businesses, service-based businesses. Just we can't pull up everyone here, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
And there we go. So, okay, Brian, go ahead. About this one here?
Yeah. I was just there's not much more to this, because it's just very specific. If this is something that you fall under, it's BIPOC, so it's for Black, Indigenous, people of color, women only. If this is your specific thing, this is definitely your grant, between $1,000 to $5,000, which is that's pretty substantial. That's a good amount. So yeah, excited to share this one with everyone. I'm really interested to see if anybody can apply to this one. Like I'm always mentioning, I don't want to pick grants that nobody can apply to. I want to, so yeah, hopefully if you can, please let us know.
Yeah. And did any of you man, this is wild, Sasha. So I just asked this. So I was going to ask, did anyone tune into our 1K grants last week? So Sasha, were you a winner last week? I'm trying to remember, but you should have gotten an email from us if you were a winner. So check your other folder. If not, just email us. I was just talking to a couple winners from last week earlier today. So hopefully, yeah. Okay, you won last week. So hopefully we can talk soon. All right. By the way, because I'm in New York now, the heaters make noises, so you can hear the heater in the background, I think. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, the old heaters, like in classrooms. Okay, let's talk about one more grant here before we talk about this EIDL news.
Yeah, so this one's for veteran small businesses. I would be interested to hear, again, if that's you. So they're giving out 25 $1,000 grants, which is a lot of grants. So yeah, and then this one as well. They are requiring a video submission. So yeah, if we look at these eligibility requirements, pretty basic. It's a small business between 2 to 50 employees. You got to be a CEO, have an active U.S. based business, and you must be a military veteran. So it says down here, get pitch perfect. So it says applicants will be asked to provide our judges with a short 1 to 3 minute pitch video with their application. Your pitch video does not need to be professionally produced and can be recorded using your cell phone. So we've been seeing a lot of these lately. We were kind of talking about that earlier, the great unshackling. We had a bunch of video submissions for, and this one as well. So, it's one of those things, just like getting your mission statement, skills ready to use again and again. You might not be able to use the same video again, but at least knowing you have a little tripod, you have a ring light, get that set up, know your where in the house has the best lighting. That kind of stuff can be more and more important when we're looking to apply for these grants. And then as Ryder and I always talk about, also obviously for your business, to communicate what you're doing, video is definitely a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of you, I think, tuned in today, perhaps put together videos for the Great Unshackling. You're thinking about it. And, our focus for Skip broadly, not only to put out content daily, weekly, new video course coming out. So, but is to also help you get funding ready and get funded. But that's only the means to growing your business and getting more customers. And so the ability to put up videos, we're biased, Bryan and I are biased, but I think, you will have a leg up. We all know the power of videos here, reels, shorts. So I think my point is we'd love to help you with videos, and we will be posting more how-to kind of just information for all of you, not only here on YouTube, but also on our Instagram as well. So if you're following us there.
Yeah, real quick, Ryder, Sasha was just asking if we help with writing for grants approval, which obviously the answer is yes. That's very much the type of stuff that we help businesses do. We can help get funding in all sorts of ways. And if you're looking to get your grants package going and get some grants for your business, we can definitely help assist you with that. It's not our main thing that we do, but it's definitely something that we've been helping people with more and more lately.
Yeah, absolutely. So along those same lines, I saw a question about SSBCI. So I do want to mention this. This is because this is I've said this. It's the new EIDL. It's a $10 billion. We update this basically daily so every state has earmarked funding. 21 states have been approved. 5 are now accepting applications. And those 5 include 3 that we have here and 2 that just updated. So Maryland, Michigan, South Carolina, and I believe Kansas and
I think it was
Kansas and Montana. Yeah. And there's another one that's in the works too. So, but a lot have been approved, like New York, Florida, California. They've all been approved for funding. So if you're in those states and you want to start to prepare, one of the things you have to keep in mind is you need to have a business plan for most SSBCI lenders. So we can help you basically. What should you have in the business plan? We'll make it easy for you. And Truck Laptop's great to hear. Welcome. Can't wait to help you directly. So, and Jen, shout out to Rochester as well. As you know, my hometown was just up there. And so I have Sba registration. I'm applying for women-owned business certification. That's great, Jen. Any questions on that? I think would love to hear more. This is something, especially for this month, the women, what's the acronym? Women Business Owners Month. Bryan?
What was that? I'm sorry. I was reading the comments here. Yeah.
October, women-owned business
Yep.
month.
Yep.
Yeah,
Small business. Yeah.
small business month. If you have to be a small business, if you're a large business, welcome, but it's not your month. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but part of that would be to feature you if you want to get your certification. What are pros and cons about that? It's a great question. Okay. So someone asked about Missouri SSBCI, and there's no update there yet. Okay. Stay tuned. But here we go. With Missouri has earmarked $95 million for that. So one more question before I get to the EIDL news. How do you know if the company you're talking to is real, Brian? Yeah.
Yeah. TNT Signature was that was actually some of what I was reading. They were saying that they've applied to some, and then that they've had issues with scammers and stuff. So I was kind of reading that. So I would say, well, first off, we want to mention, because we are on YouTube right now, we do want to, keep you guys aware that, we will never be asking you in the comments to text us. We have lots of people that try to impersonate us because, we are dealing with people and, their businesses and finances. So people do try to impersonate us. So we're never going to ask you to text us on a phone and give us money for, for stuff like that's just not how it works with us. If you want to work with our team, go to our website, use the official channels, the phone number that's there, the email, the submissions that are on our website, Hello Skip. So that's definitely how you know that they're real, is if they have a website. That's a big thing. Check out their social media. And if you download the list that we have in the description, we have a list of things that we are companies that we vetted that are giving out these grants. So that's one way to find that they are legit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
good point. Yeah, just to reemphasize that, Brian. Great.
Yeah, we got someone here.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I think there was something in the Wall Street Journal today about the amount of scams that are happening in the U.S. industry wide, but of course in this industry. But so it's more like PSA for everything. Never send gift cards to people. That's usually a scam. Never Venmo people that you don't know. And so like if you're dealing with us, we'll say, go to the helloskip.com website. You see it at secure. So that everything on Skip secure, you'll see our public phone number, things like that. So just be careful, because I know a lot of times, again, yeah. So yeah, you get spammed, and sorry about the comments. We have dedicated people on our team. That's their job, is to try to help out with the comments, but
yeah, I see it. Yeah, we see, but we have a whole team that, and I tell them all the time, hey, we're posting a video, go check out the comments, because there's always people there, and we're just constantly taking them off. So, we're definitely sorry about that. But we're doing as much as we can to maybe try to prevent that.
Maybe we need moderators, like volunteer moderators, like on Reddit or other things like that. People, I know we have a lot of fans here, so if you want to be a moderator, I don't know, we'll think about it. But that was really you who left me. No, that's not the case.
No, so that's not the case. So that's what we're talking about. They will use our icon as like our Skip logo as their logo, so it looks like it's us, but that's not us. If anyone's asking you to text them in our YouTube comments, that is not us. Do not engage with that. Actually, report that if you can. Just report that to get that stuff removed. Yeah, we're sorry about that.
Yeah, and I know some of you are kind of proactively reporting things in the comments here, so appreciate everything you do. But yeah, don't. People try a lot, because we ban people and they just keep coming up with fake accounts. So, and did the person sound like me? I mean, I don't know if I have a voice impersonator yet, but so okay. A lot of people talked about state specific or SSBCA. So I zoomed in here. Alabama, 98 million is pending. I also heard, these are not in alphabetical order, but I heard someone asked about Ohio, 182 million in Ohio pending approval. Michigan is approved, accepting applications. So if you want help with Michigan, let us know. Get in touch with Tennessee. Where's Tennessee here? alphabetical order. 117 million still waiting, still pending approval. Texas pending approval, 472 million. So anyway, this is all on our blog. I'm not going to read every state. Mississippi, someone at 86 million pending approval in Mississippi.
Yep. Basically, every single state, wherever you are going to be getting funding. It's just a matter of time when that funding is approved and it's ready for everybody. So don't think that your state's left out. The only thing that could be happening is just they may be a little bit slower than the other more proactive states. And but you're not going to be left out. Every state will be getting funding for SSBCI in some way or another, because there's different programs. Unfortunately, not every state probably will allow maybe the amounts that you need for your business, so it's just different for every state. Some of them have, it has to be $200,000 or more. Other ones have a bunch of different types of programs, whether it's going to be, they're going to just help you with the collateral that maybe you don't have because you're a new business. So yes, you have to apply, and you can, we can't say how to apply because, like I mentioned, there's 50 different programs. That would have to be specific to where you're at. You're in, and finding the lenders in your city and your state. So the blog address, if you go to helloskip.com/blog, this one is one of our most updated ones. We're always updating it, so it's always towards the top. If you go to blog, we're always updating the what states have funding, and then from there we also have all of these individual specifics for each state as they're coming. You want to talk about this a little bit, Ryder?
Not a whole lot, but just to say, right, for SSBCI, 10 billion every state, loans. So most of you will care about loans. There's also venture capital if you want to give up equity, like if you're an S corp or a C corp. Those could be an option, but I think for a lot of you, it'll be loans. So this is an example from Maryland. There's 9 participating programs, so being funneled through. And here are 2 that are relevant for you, probably you, Maryland Small Business Development Authority. So just to illustrate that each of these have a different process, we know the process, so we can say, oh yeah, we recommend you do this one. You'll need X, Y, and Z, help you go through it. So it is first come, first serve, and anything there that you have questions, I guess the link above, now that Brian popped up, the helloskip.com/join. And thanks everyone who's liked this video. Drop in questions, and if you want to get in touch with us, you can always email us at hello@helloskip.com. This grants, if you're just tuning in, this grants document has 3 new grants we already talked about, and it has some other resources too. So that's the first link in the description. And if you're a women-owned small business, because it's Women-Owned Small Business Month, there's a checkbox. So be sure to check it in that form. We'll get in touch with you. We'd love to help share your story, feature you here, Instagram, other socials, website. So more on that coming up.
I just want to mention, Ryder, because you said that those are the 3 new grants. But if you go down below, we have grants that are, ones that we've already talked about that might be right for you, and then we also have all of these. We've been collecting so many different grants, and some of them are recurring, so we just leave those on here. We put them towards the bottom here. They're maybe always open. They give away grants every month, or they give them every quarter. So go check out the whole entire list on this grant roundup. I think we have even more. We've got a bunch more.
This is can you go down to there was one that I wanted to mention. It was because it was the Amber grant, which we don't like that one because you have to pay for it.
Exactly. I was about to mention that, because some people were mentioning that. We don't love to talk about the ones that you guys have to pay for, because obviously that's not ideal. So but we do have a few of them on here, but
maybe we should take those off, because it's more like there's probably regulation around that, right? So imagine if our grants, instead of giving out our YouTube revenue, we said you have to pay into the pot, and then we'll choose from the pot, and then we'll take a little bit off the
Yeah.
top. That's what it feels like,
Yeah,
right?
it's more of a lottery, it seems like, than a grant. Yeah, I want to try to think of the way that to give them a voice of justifying, that. I mean, I guess there's administrative fees, but it does seem like
Yeah.
that's it shouldn't be that much money. But anyways,
I want to switch gears and talk about the EIDL. This is the big news we put up in the video yesterday. I know a lot of you took EIDL loans, or you like the EIDL news, you're EIDL junkies, and we love playing the hits here at Skip. So, but anyway, this was a big proposal from the National Restaurant Association with 3 proposals. Number 1 was to eliminate the EIDL accrued debt. So some of you who have to repay starting this month or next month, you've had 2 years of accruing debt. If you took a $100,000 EIDL loan, that means that debt is $10,000. Proposal number 1 is eliminate that debt. Number 2 would be to lower the interest rates from 3.75% to 1%, which would be a big deal, obviously. And that'd be similar to the PPP. If you didn't get the PPP forgiven, your interest is 1%. And the third one was this kind of good borrower relief, pay for 10 years, and then you get it forgiven. Kind of like if you work in public service for X years, your student debt is forgiven. So yeah, Brian, what do you think about this, Brian? What are your hot takes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we mentioned before a few weeks ago, I just got some of my debt forgiven for the student loans, which hopefully will actually happen. I hope it does, because it's going to knock out a lot of my debt, and that really will kind of change my life. So it's hard for me to say, oh no, we shouldn't do that, when it's something that, I definitely see it as, something that is really helpful. Now, is it realistic? I tend to agree with you that some of them are more realistic to others. I don't know that they're going to change the interest rate if it's always been 3.75%. I don't know that they're going to magically change that because of this proposal. They could, but I do think that maybe the accrued interest is would make sense, that might be a good option, because people that had to take out these loans, they were almost forced to do it because they had to stay in business. It wasn't just like, oh, this is like a choice, some kind of business decision I'm going to make. It's very much, they were in desperation. So forgiving that interest accrual, I think makes a lot of sense. I think that's something that maybe should have already been baked into the program at the beginning.
Absolutely. And that you're right. That's what it was alluded to in this letter. I was trying to find where it was, but it was basically saying, this was a temporary life raft, and you kind of really didn't have a choice. You had to take it. So in that sense, yeah, maybe getting rid of the interest debt would make sense. There'd be ways to do it. Then the rates could stay the same, still the same terms, but given the macro economy now, and this is a big report. This is a 5-page report, but I just want to say this was a shocking to me when I read it. I just want to scroll down here to 2/3 of restaurants took on new loan debt during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Nearly 4 in 10 restaurants with EIDL debt owe more than $200,000. Put that in perspective, knowing what, Brian, you said, the razor thin margins for restaurants. I worked in a restaurant. My first job was in a restaurant, busboy, dishwasher. Those were the days. And then 1 in 3 restaurants have already made a payment. But here's the big takeaway: less than 1 in 4 restaurants think they'll be able to make their payments. That's pretty telling. I mean, it's kind of what we knew from the get-go, but man, that's Brian, your thoughts? Oh, you froze, Brian, but
still there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you what are your thoughts on this?
Wasn't me. Sorry, I think I maybe lost connection for a half sec.
Any thoughts on this?
Just that, so I mean, for me, I go to a lot of restaurants, and I've definitely been just, you can feel it now. When you go to restaurants, I don't know if it's the same, across the country, but where I'm at in Sacramento, you can feel when you're at a restaurant that there's just stress there. It's not fun to be out there as much as it used to be, because you can just tell there's just, people are understaffed, people are just stressed out. It does seem like there's a problem. And when you feel like the stress when you're at a restaurant, it's usually going to be because it's coming down from the managers, from the owners. It's going to be coming down, from the top. And that makes a lot of sense if we're seeing here that they aren't going to be able to make their payments or their loans. That's going to, lead to just a lot of closures of restaurants that you thought maybe they made it through the pandemic, but it turns out that they're gonna maybe close, after, because of the debt that they had to accrue, for to stay alive. So it's a tough
Yeah.
situation. So something kind of, I do think something needs to be done, because I mean, restaurants, they're a fun leisure activity, but it's how we get out and we socialize. It's a big part of our culture of how we, get to go out and be amongst each other. So taking more places where, a way that you can do that, it isn't good, because people, I think, are isolated enough. We need to be outside and we need to be eating, and yeah, that's kind of my thoughts with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Would love to hear anyone, your thoughts on this, not only for the restaurant industry, but for other service industries that are just kind of important part of our, important part of our lives. Yeah. So I pulled this up here. We helped a lot of people with the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, RRF, which was good news if you received a grant. And there's also been talk, hey, there should have been a stipulation, like if you got some of this grant money, you should use that to pay back EIDL first. Because again, the stat here, 1 in 4 don't think they can make payments on EIDL. Just as more people did not get this funding than not. So anyway, I don't know if anyone's used this, but it's kind of interesting. You can put in the name of your restaurant or where you are. Maybe you find a restaurant near you that got a grant, if you're curious. But I think that the main point is a lot of restaurants that your restaurant or others that you frequent didn't get the funding here. So now they owe hundreds of thousands of dollars, and payments are going to start up next month. And how are you going to pay $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 a month on top of our, the razor thin margins, as you said, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe let's move on to more positive news. Do we have any positive news, Ryder?
We do have a lot of positive news. So, I mean, all of these grants here, and the fact that we're going to be doing a lot to help women small business owners this month. So, and I mean all small business owners, but since it's Women Small Business Owners Month, we're going to be promoting you here on our social media. Go apply for these grants. As always, you can add these to your Skip dashboard so we can help you track them. So if you apply for Stacy's Rise, add it to your Skip dashboard so then we can remind you when it's due. And, that's it. And, like I said, two things to keep in mind. One, if you're not following us on Instagram, go follow us there, and we're going to pick a $500 grant winner in the next couple of days. And then tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be interviewing an SBA director about this funding in Florida. And here are the counties that are eligible in Florida. Red is for you'll get both physical and EIDL loans, and yellow are the contiguous counties from the hurricane. And if you've been affected economically, if you had economic injury, you'll potentially be eligible for loans here as well.
Yeah.
So there's other news too. Hey, here's positive stock market news today, by the way. The stock market, hey, if you follow the stock market, like, have fun, because it's
yeah, it's
like
a roller coaster.
But here's another report that came out today. U.S. job openings fell in August. So that's a sign that the labor market is starting to cool. So there are a lot of trends that are all happening at once. Labor market's cooling. If you're hiring, that's a potentially a good sign because it means you will, it'll be less competitive, right? What we'd seen for the past year was employers having a tough time finding people, more job openings than job applicants. So we'll be starting to shift if you're in a position to hire people. Good shout out to Florida. Any other shout outs here before we sign off for today?
Real quick, I can do this real quick. I saw this one here. We actually just talked about a veteran grant. So yeah, if you download the link in the description, you can have a chance getting one of those grants for veterans here.
Yeah, it's the Founders First.
Founders First, yeah. Yep. And then over here with another real quick in California. The thing is with the SSBCI in California is it's not accepting applications yet. If I'm correct, they're just approved. So I'm not sure what you're hearing about if it's hard for companies to get the loans or not. I think that's still kind of yet to be determined because they're not accepting applications yet. So we will see.
Yeah. So go download that document and the SSBCI, it's not easy like the EIDL as in one form for the country, but I'll always say this, like, look, if you're all busy trying to run your businesses or startups, so lean on us or lean on other resources. We can help you skip the red tape.
Yeah.
So thanks. Good to see so many folks today, and excited for a lot more. Hope to see some of you tomorrow when I talk with the SBA director, and hopefully some of you apply for these grants. And Brian, any final thoughts, words of encouragement for everyone?
I'm just reading here. I just want to keep answering questions. IG page at hello.skip. But yeah, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, we got to get going.
Yeah, well, follow us there. We'll be posting more videos and a course coming out soon too. Anyway, thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Ryder.
Thanks to everyone who's tuned in, and we'll see y'all next week, and some of you will see tomorrow on our live with the SBA director. Okay, take care, everyone. Stay well, stay healthy. See you soon.